I have 2 Cavoodles giving birth in just a few weeks' time, so I'm going to show you what I keep in my whelping cart. So I have had 3 litters of Cavoodles now, and I'm about to have 2 more. And over the years of breeding, what I have found is you don't need a lot in your whelping cart. As long as you have a really good reproduction specialist on call, you don't need to stack your whelping cart full. So for me, when I am doing my whelping, I like to keep things very minimal. I like to have the essentials there. And if I am worried, if there's at any point in the whelping process that I feel like I need something else or that things aren't going quite to plan, what I do is I get in my car and I head straight to my specialist. In saying all that, let's pack the whelping cart. Okay, so when we are setting up a whelping cart, you always go from most important to least important. So the top tier here has to have the stuff that you're going to be reaching for the most. Now that includes a set of scales. As soon as those puppies are born, we need to get their birth weight before they have any milk from their mum. Next, what we need is a little kidney dish so we can collect any placentas in here that we don't want the mum to have. And then also a few little tools. So what I have is my suction bulb. This is to help clear the airways for the puppies. Essential. Have to have a suction bulb. I also have just a pair of scissors and then also a pair of clamps. Now, let's say we cut a placenta and we don't have time to get the dental floss and tie it off. You can use these clamps to clamp it off so it stops the bleeding until you get time to go around with the dental floss. Now, these tools here, I always sterilize before birth because obviously we need to make sure everything is as sterile as possible. These here go up the top as well. Like I mentioned, I use dental floss to tie off umbilical cords. This is just unwaxed, unscented dental floss. I just open it up, take a piece off, tie off some umbilical cords. The final thing I tend to keep on the top tier is just some tape here. This is what I use to tape up the tails for the mums. When they're giving birth, there is a lot coming out. We've got placentas, we've got blood, we have just discharge and puppies. Frankly, we have puppies coming out. So if you don't wrap up their tail, it gets disgusting. And after the mums give birth, we can't actually shower them. We can't actually bath them. We have to make sure the puppies are not having any sort of soap when they are drinking. So over the first couple of weeks, I never bath the mums other than sponging them down with warm water. So wrapping up their tails really saves the day. Otherwise, it's just disgusting. Now, moving down to the next tier, what I keep on this level includes a bunch of puppy pads. Like I said, whelping is a messy process. So unless you want to be changing a lot of whelping pads that are washable, I recommend getting some pee pads, lying it down to the whole whelping box, and after each puppy, just collecting them, putting them in the bin. Now, in addition to pee pads, when the puppies are born, you need to have some towels so you can wipe them down, get them dry, and also start to stimulate their breathing and moving. So I have a bunch of microfiber towels here, one for each puppy, that I keep on the second tier. Now, like I said, we get dirty when we're whelping, which means I need to have something on that isn't white. So what I have is a pair of veterinary scrubs, and these are really great because they dry really quickly. If you have ever put on scrubs, you know that they're made of a fantastic material that absorbs and dries very quickly. And I honestly don't care. If I have to throw these out, it doesn't bother me. So I always have a pair of scrubs as well. Obviously, everything is washed and sterilized. I use antibacterial wash for all the towels, just to make sure we keep everything as clean as possible. Okay, now onto the final tier. I've moved you to the ground because obviously we're at ground level. Now, the final tier is full of stuff that isn't as essential and as important. I do keep a spare heat pad in there. Now, when I'm whelping the puppies, I'm always doing it in the whelping box, which means there's a heat lamp and heat pad already on. So this isn't essential, but if I have to quickly rush the puppies into the car, I do like to have one spare. So we have a spare heat pad. I keep a bunch of just wet wipes in there, you know, because things get dirty, as I keep saying. I also keep some disinfectant wipes in there as well. Again, you just never know what you're gonna need. I also have a bunch of spare light bulbs for the heat lamp. I keep some bin bags. When we are whelping, any puppy pads that we use, I collect in a bag and they go straight into the big bin. Just chuck those in there. And the final things I keep in my whelping cart is some probe covers for my thermometer. If for some reason I need to take the temperature of the mum, I like to have one there. I also keep a syringe. Now this is to give the mum calcium if she's having some trouble getting the puppies out. But again, like I said in the beginning, if my mothers start to show any signs of having trouble getting the puppies out, I'm on the phone to my reproduction specialist. They're 24 hours and I'm on my way to the clinic. So that's why I don't have a lot in my cart, because honestly, if something's going wrong, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I like to go straight to the clinic. But this is pretty much the little shelf that I don't usually touch. Okay, and that there is my whelping cart for my litters of Cavoodles that I whelp. There's not much in there, but it's got all the essentials. If something goes wrong, we are on the way to the reproduction specialist. If you do have any questions at all about this whole process of creating a whelping cart, make sure you leave a comment. I'm happy to answer some questions. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye!